All done. Finished. Yay! What a beautiful house. This is a great project. Give it a try. It's only $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. You've just been to the Dollar Tree. You've purchased a birdhouse that's appropriate for ages 5 and up. I haven't made a birdhouse in so long. When I was 5 years old or so, I remember getting one of these and oh man, talk about frustration. That's why I'm suggesting watch this video. I will cover some of the areas where you really need to give a little bit of adult supervision, and it's gonna be fun. Stay tuned. We're gonna have a great time. That way you don't have to make one yourself, so that you know all the ins and outs. Here's a preview of some of the fun we're gonna have building this birdhouse. Here's our wood shop. A few little extras that I always like to have is a little bit of tacky glue, which is right here, and the wood shop. Now what we're going to do is open it up, 5 and plus. Have everything out. This is our little bird perch. They give us 2 eyelets instead of 1 for putting on the birdhouse. Let's hope they gave us all the pieces for the rest of it. This is the front right here. This looks like when you get yours and you have your child do this, you'll notice that it's kind of like a punch thing. It isn't a uniform hole here. So this is the front and this is the back. The smaller hole in the back, bigger hole in the front. Here's our glue. Do we have to cut it? I'm not sure. Whoa, I guess not. It would help if I had, well, maybe that's what that extra pin's for, to get your glue started. This should be enough to get the glue started. Step 1, glue the edges of the side pieces to the front and back. That's probably the bottom. Bottom, back. We can identify that one easy enough. Here's the front. Here's the 2 sides. Are they the same size? Yes, good. So go like that, and then, all right. Then we have the 4 roof pieces. We'll glue the sides first. This glue is kind of old, but at the same time, it's kind of nice that it's a little bit dried out a little bit because it'll make it easier to work with. There's glue. And the reason why I put it on the plastic is so that it doesn't get all over the place. Now it's more free-flowing once we get going with our project. Put the cap back on. Here's one side in. See, this is what I'm talking about. For a 5-year-old, this is not an easy task. It's not easy for a 65-year-old either. Oops. Can I measure these guys? Oh yeah, they'll fit. Whoops. Now you can see why you do it first, because it's not easy to do this. A couple of rubber bands or string might help make it go easier. Well, now you can see, all right, so glue the edges of the sides pieces, front and back. So, okay, we're gonna try this again and see if it works better the other way. This is what they're talking about doing. You want to make your mistakes first, I could say I did that on purpose, but I didn't. Get this one like this. Hold them together. You almost need 2 5-year-olds to do this, or a 5-year-old and a parent. Right, there's half of it done. Let's get the other half. And I like that they give you the glue for this. It's going to look just like a 5-year-old did it. I'm a 5-year-old at heart. I really do remember doing one of these when I was a kid. I hated it. That's why you want to supervise with your child and do it with them, because this does take some patience. One of the things that they don't mention in this is that you have to wait about a minute or two for this glue to set up, at least, because this is basically white glue. You can take the little pieces and move them around a little bit while they're setting up. We put the, let's see, next they're going to want us to add glue to the perch, and then we stick that in. But I'm going to wait until this is a little bit more sturdy. Oh, no, 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 don't do that. And this is why you get a whole extra tube of glue. All right, put some pressure on it. So you can see how this could be a little bit frustrating for a 5-year-old. Or, in my case, a 65-year-old. Give it some... All right, it says glue and side pieces front shown. Okay, we did that. Now we're waiting. Yeah, I think we can do the perch too while we're waiting here. Put a little glue here so that we can put it on the perch and then just hold this and do the perch at the same time. So far the sides have been a little bit of a nuisance. And this perch looks like it's going to be a little bit of a nuisance too, because it's not quite fit right. I think what might make doing the perch easier is to put it into like a pencil sharpener before doing it. Put a little taper to it. And then stick it in. Matter of fact, let's just take that off and let it sit for a while by itself. And we shall get out a knife and do a little whittling here. Here's a knife. Just take a little bit down so that it has a point to it. Don't let your 5-year-old have a knife, but you can have a knife. There. We've done some surgery on our perch. We are grabbing some more glue here. Our birdhouse is starting to take shape. Oh yeah, it's all the way through. Now time to do the roof. Glue the roof as shown. But you don't have a V at the top. You have one that comes up, and then not with this one. This one's the base. This goes up like this and comes together. Now to do the roof, we will go lay down a bead line here, 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 My hand's totally in the way, sorry. I will get better at doing things on camera. And then we take one and we go like this. Oh, come on out of there. These two go like this, and they go on the roof. Not bad. Our house is taking form here. Now, seeing as we have bead lines already here, just put them back in, put a bead line on each side. Well, just one on one side, the long side on the roof. That way we can just snap her in. A moist sponge could be kept on hand to take the glue lines out. I didn't think about doing that beforehand. They don't have that in the directions either. But when working with white glue, that's a good way to clean off the excess, is just use a little moist sponge and don't rub hard, just get it a little bit. And if you have a little bit on the inside, I don't think the birds will mind. This is all done except for the eyelets. We let this sit for overnight and then we come back. This is what it looks like. And we wait until tomorrow. We let everything dry now. Down to the last step, we have our eyelet. It's a little eyelet and it goes right in the center of the roof, right there. So we're gonna take it and push it down. So easy, a 65-year-old can do it. I'm dying to pull out my pin drill and just drill it in, but they say you can get it in. Push down firmly to get it started. Got a little bit in. There we go. It's going in. I can almost hear the birds chirping already. And this is why you waited until you were totally done with the birdhouse drying. Now we're gonna put a quick little knot in there and run it back around, back through the hole. I know I'm being a little silly, but might as well just practice all these knots I learned. It's in the Navy. There we go. Yay. There we go. All done. Here's our finished birdhouse. Isn't it beautiful? We could have a little hummingbird in there. They could have all sorts of fun. You can paint it and do whatever you want with it. The one thing that I remembered though is 5-year-olds' hands aren't as big as man hands. So if you find that you're dealing with a child with small hands, you might introduce them to clamps. What they could do, and you could show them how to do this or help them with it. When they're gluing up the birdhouse, you could just put the clamp in there and then just clamp it down and just tell them just real gentle pressure. You don't want to put a whole bunch of pressure. That way when the sides go on, you could get it all clamped. I had to put something to keep the roof from falling off because wet glue, you know, unless I held it there all night long, and I didn't really have the patience to do that. Also, I forgot to put on the floor until after I'd already shut off all the cameras. You need the floor so that the birds don't fall out of the birdhouse. We learned that a 65-year-old could do it. A 5-year-old can do it with supervision. I think that a project like this could be very frustrating for a 5-year-old because they are used to having things pretty much instant gratification. Gluing is an interesting concept for kids. They don't understand the fact that, well, once you got it glued together, you got to wait another 24 hours before, well, not 24, 12 hours for it to be solidly glued. This is a great project for both parents and children to do as a group project. You could paint it afterwards and have a lot of fun hanging it, finding a good place to hang it. There's just so much room for discussion during making a birdhouse. Love you all. Till next time. Bye-bye.